Today I'm going to show you how ridiculous the spinning globe model is by citing real-world applications from construction, in this instance tower cranes that travel on tracks. And we're going to look at the operating procedures regarding cranes that travel. I'm going to give you a couple of examples showing you exactly what goes on, and the results of which of course highlight the absurdity of this spinning globe nonsense. First up, let's just read a couple of paragraphs. If cranes are to travel whilst carrying a load, the jib must, as far as practicable, face the direction of travel. The load must be suspended and as low and as close to the mast as practical. Cranes must not perform slewing and travelling motions simultaneously. And that is the globe killer, okay? They must not perform slewing and travelling motions simultaneously. Okay? Bear with me. What that means is not only do they have to travel ridiculously slow across the tracks like we're seeing on the screens now, but they actually have to line the jib up with the railway line in the direction they're travelling. They can't slew, as in can't come off centre from the direction they're travelling because of balance. We're looking up, seeing the crane pointing in the direction of travel, and it's hardly a breakneck speed, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do now is give you a little bit more of a demo so you've got it, you can grasp fully what I'm saying here, but that's just a visual, seeing how slow these cranes travel and the procedures they need to entertain to travel safely. That is to line the jib up in the direction of travel. Okay, so bear with me. And let me just give you another example. This is your overhead view of your tracks, and here's your tower crane overhead view. Slew ring, back jib, counterweight, front jib. Even though we saw how slow these cranes travel, ridiculously slow, what, 1 maybe 2 miles an hour, they are still not allowed to travel at those ridiculously slow speeds and slew at the same time. They're not allowed to do that for safety reasons. What they need to do is line the jib up with the direction of travel, travel to the radius of whatever it is they're going to be doing, put the brake on, and then they can slew and do the lifts they need to do. And if it's something they're bringing back to the other end of the site, they'll face the direction they're coming and then come back this end doing 1-2 miles an hour. But they are not allowed to travel and slew at the same time, even though they're only travelling at 1 or 2 miles an hour. And that operating procedure, which of course is for health and safety, is what keeps the crane upright so it doesn't go over. But we're expected to believe tower cranes can deal with 600 plus miles an hour spin, go around at 66,000 miles an hour, flying through the vacuum of space at 500,000 miles an hour, wobbling and oscillating. A crane has no problem doing all those different speeds at once. But the moment you introduce a real bit of movement, i.e. the crane on tracks, that can be tested and verified by all, the crane has ridiculous operating restrictions. It can't do its normal procedures. That shows you how ridiculous the globe is. You wouldn't be able to have a machine subjected to all the speeds the globe says are possible. Just wouldn't. And if you could, and that was true, then you'd be able to slew and travel as fast as you liked. Because bearing in mind, you're able to do 600 miles an hour, 500,000 miles an hour, wobble and oscillate, do all these other different speeds. But you can't, because the earth isn't moving, which is why you need to have serious restrictions in place when a tower crane moves at a couple of miles an hour. It would be impossible for cranes to operate safely on a spinning, wobbling, oscillating ball. Tower cranes on tracks and their operating procedures tell you that. If you can't see this, that's up to you. That's your issues. But the globe is scientifically impossible. It's ridiculous. And tower cranes on tracks prove it. More tower crane stuff to come in the nice industrial sized practical form. Love it.